Here's how it works. You divide the population into two categories. The people who are complying, who are the good guys, and the people who are not complying, and they're the bad guys. It's that simple. And what you do is you promise the population that everything is going to be good. We're going to have socialism, and it's going to work great. We're going to have racial justice. It's going to work great. We can open up the economy once everybody gets their vaccine, and it'll be great. And then you blame the people who don't comply for all of the suffering that's happening that you're probably causing to them. That's what Mao Zedong did again and again and again to conquer China. That's what they did to us with COVID. That's what they did to us with Trump derangement syndrome. That's what they've done to us with identity politics, and that's what they're doing to us with climate change. You have to be sustainable. We heard President Trump last night, sustainable rockets or whatever it was, sustainable jets. We're gonna, what did he say? Bomb the shit out of them, but we're gonna protect the environment.
I swear, leftists are not really good at this manipulation game, because I think it actually requires some level of intelligence to do this, because at this point, it's getting ridiculous. Right. So I opened up with the intro with James Lindsay, who I respect very much. And he got the leftist number, because a lot of the tactics that the left are currently doing are stuff that Marxists has done, communists have done, socialists has done. Repeat a lie often enough, and eventually people will believe it to be true. Lenin said that. He who controls the future, he who controls the children controls the future. Another famous socialist who shall not be named also said that. And the left, it seems like their whole narrative is really crumbling, right? And I'll show numerous examples throughout this video, because you guys know me. I like to show you what I'm basing my opinions, my views, and sometimes my stances on. It's the fact that mainstream media is going around saying that the right manipulate and edit it and filter videos to push out a narrative about events, when in reality, they're the ones who are more guilty of that. They're the ones who started that. Trump derangement syndrome, COVID. If you get vaccinated, you won't spread COVID. 2 years later, found out it doesn't do exactly what they said. It seems like on YouTube, right? Independent content creators like me will get penalized for putting out misinformation, aka things that cannot be actually proven. But if the people in authority say that that's not the case, therefore they'll go with them. And last time I checked, that's a fallacy. Just because you're in a position of authority does not necessarily mean that you have the right of the issue. It means you're more likely to have the right of the issue, but that's not an absolute position. And a lot of people on the left abuse their positions. This is one of the tactics. This is one of the tactics that communists have also stated, that you want to go in and take over institutions. You get the power. You get in there. You pay your dues into a company, and when you become CEO, you run it with all your initiatives like DEI. DEI essentially is a bureaucratic way of filtering out people who are less likely to agree with you. That's what DEI is. DEI is just a means to an end. If the means is, hey, we're giving certain groups of people preferential treatment, but the end goal is most likely these people will be in our ideological wheelhouse, and we can further cement our ideological dominance over a corporation, we'll do that. And this is the kind of manipulation I'm trying to warn the American people about. That you should trust the internet more than you should trust the TV. And then after the internet, it's your own individual research. Because at the end of the day, my side, and this is me talking to the left, my side ain't saying that doing your own research can lead to misinformation. My side is not saying that. Your side is. Because right now, you have all the authority. Right now, all the misinformation experts lean left, ideologically captured. And because we have some skepticism about your framing of events, your interpretation of events, they out here skewing mess. Glenn Greenwald pointed out that Nicole Wallace spent her whole career spewing this kind of transparent lies and propaganda on behalf of George Bush and Dick Cheney, when liberals despised her and called her a racist and fascist. Now she does the exact same thing, but for Biden and the Dems, and liberals revere her, right? And this is all come back to Joe Biden, right? And sometimes I think this is a blessing in disguise. Because stuff that's obviously like we see is like, yo, look like this guy got to get let out of the stage. And the left will claim that this is a deep fake. This is a cheap fake. Oh, it's heavily edited. You mean zoomed in? Zoomed out? That's edited? Come on now. Come on now. Now, you can make the argument that, Kenny, you're interpreting it differently than how we are interpreting it. That's fine. That's fine. That's what a bias is. A bias is you have an certain interpretation. But you can't sit here and say that there's no cause. And I did a video yesterday about this, that they're trying to minimize the concerns, that the legitimate concerns that Americans have on Biden's mental health, mental fitness for office. But instead of focusing on that actual concern, they want to play interpretation games. Oh, you're misinterpreting events. And because you're misinterpreting events, that's misinformation. Obama did not touch this man's hand and kind of look like, hey, let's go over here. Did not hold his hand over his shoulder. Because Obama trying to play it off, but I'm allowed to interpret that. I'm allowed to assume that. But to pretend the actual thing never happened, he didn't freeze, he didn't pause, sorry. You know, leftists wanted to call it, he paused for 6 seconds. And I'm like, yo, you guys got no grounds to even say, like, you guys participate in the very same thing with Trump. And I'll show you examples why. But I want you guys to see this clip right now. And then I'll follow up more with my examples here.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. It is to take highly misleading and selectively edited videos of President Biden directly from Republican National Committee social media accounts and then use those videos to spread messages virally to cast doubt on President Biden's fitness for office. Here is this headline from the New York Post, quote, Biden appears to freeze up, has to be led off stage by Obama at Megabucks LA fundraiser.
Now, guys, what part of that was misinformation? If you've seen the video, what part of that was misinformation? Biden appears to freeze up. Did he not appear to freeze up? Yo, these people, bruh. Oh my God. This is what happens when you're in the echo chamber. I told you already, if you're new to this channel, journalists is ideologically dominated by the left. Majority of journalists identify as liberal. Majority of journalists identify as Democrat. Majority of journalists donate to the Democratic Party. And because the American people interpret events differently than how they want you to interpret it, here they are making attempts to discredit it. Highly edited clips. All we did was zoom in the video, bruv. That's all we did. And for that, we get slandered with misinformation, disinformation. And then they wonder why their credibility keeps going down the toilet, because they do mess like this. And I'm tired of it, honestly. But me, I'll get penalized. Oh, Kenny, you'll get a strike on your channel if you even question what the health organization says about vaccines. Oh, no. We can't have that. When merely in my video, when I merely question that, hey, just because you're in a position of authority does not mean you're 100% right on all the issues. That you can be wrong. You're just more likely, you're just less likely to be wrong. That's all it is. I question the fallacy of authority when it comes to medical science. And my channel gets a strike for medical misinformation because I question the validity of the stance of the WHO institution. Craziness. But this is the game that they want to play. No one in authority, Obama said that's not exactly what he was doing. It don't matter what Obama says. Obama's aligned with him politically. Obama sees the polls that we see. Majority of Americans will rather vote for an egotistical Trump than a mentally unfit Biden. This is what they're trying to avoid. It's the same thing with the 100 laptop story, because at the end of the day, you guys have lost your credibility, at least in my eyes, at least in my audience's eyes. Because when it can hurt Biden, you're slandered as Russian disinformation. After you guys get the outcome you want, then y'all allow it to be, we might have been mistaken about it. Actually, it wasn't Russian information. It just appeared to be Russian information. We didn't deny or confirm. Even though the FBI have been said, yeah, that's Hunter's laptop. But y'all sat around here and lied in our face. And then you're trying to do the same thing right now again. And you wonder why majority of Americans believe that a media is a threat to America. You call Trump threat to democracy, but this crap y'all guys are doing, that's a threat to democracy. The right-wing media is incentivized politically to point out the flaws in the Democratic candidate. The American people have a right to know the flaws of any candidate, just like the leftist media are incentivized to point out the flaws in Trump's candidacy based on their purview. The American people are allowed or should be allowed to know that, so that way they can get an informed decision. Because at the end of the day, politics, life is about trade-offs. No one's 100%. You're not going to get 100% perfect solutions, whatever. There's a trade-off. For every positive solution you see, there's a negative trade-off to have that. You want a nice car, you have to spend a lot of money. That's life. That's how life has always been. But for too long in our education system, we've been training kids to be entitled, to feel entitled about things. And then the politicians play into that entitlement. And this is how you get a Joe Biden in office. This is how you get a lot of these politicians that don't know what they're doing, that are actually effective at their job, AOC, not effective at their job whatsoever, but because they placate to people's entitlements, to what people want, the desirability of policies. This is what gets them elected. I digress. Let's continue. Let's finish off this video, and I got another clip to show you guys.
The full video posted by Biden finance chair on Twitter shows something entirely different. Biden reacting to applause and then walking off stage with former President.
Even in the zoomed out clip, you see him touch his arm, but it doesn't look as bad. In the right-wing media, we zoom in on this part. That's what she's called heavily edited. Instead of playing the two clips side by side and letting you make your interpretation, your decisions on your call, your judgment on whether it was edited or not. No, they want you to believe their framing of events, so they only have to let you show you their evidence.
Obama. It comes less than 1 week after the New York Post made a cover out of another piece of deceptively edited tape, calling him meanderer-in-chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration during the G7 summit last week. The only problem is that the full video, which emerged almost instantly, shows Biden was going over to congratulate one of the skydivers, who's cropped out of the video entirely. Both the articles are based on cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated to fool viewers, released on an RNC opposition research social media account with zero independent fact-checking.
Zero independent fact-checking, which is an institution dominated by the left, right? So if our people say it's misinformation, it's misinformation, right? That's essentially what she said. Now, I have an argument for that. Remember Charlottesville? I'm going to keep bringing it up because this is where the left gets owned, right? The left, this is the left right here. Cheap fakes, taking something that, it did happen, but then edit it in a way where you can spin a narrative. Oh, you should know that well, leftist media, because you did this to Donald Trump.
Were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
Washington and Robert E. Lee are not the same.
Well, no, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now, we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history. You're changing culture. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
That's all we cared about. Didn't you not play that out of context, left-wing media? Should we go? We can keep going. We can keep going. I got another example for you guys because this is what we're talking about, right? This is what they do. MSNBC cut the feed of a black Trump supporter, calling them marginal and continue a divisive racial narrative. Many people believe that mainstream media is intentionally dividing America, and I agree with that. Because like I said, Democrats can't win with a united America. If Americans did not focus on skin color, focus on, hey, our national allegiance to this community here so we all could win, Democrats will never win an election. So they need identity politics. They need people to see each other as different types of Americans. They need to see people as a different type of category because that's the only way the left can win. And this is the kind of the conditioning that I'm talking about. I digress. Let's continue with this 55-second clip. Sorry.
Gabe Gutierrez, actually, Jacob, one of our reporters, and I don't want to quote the wrong reporter here, was just out at the Trump campaign. I think we have the sound, and my team will have to tell me, where they spoke with some Trump supporters. Let's play what they said.
David Duke and people like that, they come out from under the rocks all the time around this time this year. It got nothing to do with Donald Trump. We all Americans. I think we need to stop with all the racist stuff and the race baiting. Like me and my friend right here, we just met today, we was talking. You know, we got to stop with the racist stuff and this, that. We all Americans, man. And nobody paying David Duke no mind.
Clearly, let me just be clear here. Obviously, the majority of Donald Trump supporters are not African American. I don't know how many African Americans were in.
And neither is Democrats. That's the funny part. Oh, not the majority of the Republican supporters are black. Neither are Democrats, because black people are a minority in the country. But this is the game they want to play. They want to play, oh, look, because they need that narrative. Oh, Trump doesn't appeal to black people because they're trying to create others. They're trying to create subgroups. When if you're thinking about it from an American perspective, a nationalist perspective, hey, whose policies will help Americans, plural? It's Trump. For the most part, it's Trump. Now I get it. Oh, no, like there's no perfect politicians. If you're looking for perfection, you get 100% of nothing. That's the reality of our world. Because you're not a perfect being. I'm not a perfect being. But this is the kind of game the left play. No Lie with Brian Taylor Cohen. Here's a photo of Trump having to hold someone else's hand to guide him off stage. I'm sure this will get as much coverage as the daily Biden old story gets. So this is a picture of him, Don Trump. I think it was Don Jr. He was in Hialeah, held his hand, but really it was just a handshake, right? Because this guy got community noted. He said, how is there no community notes yet? This is a blatant misinformation. This is the video. As you can see. There you go. Highly edited clips. Oh, like how you're doing? Right? Highly editing, misleading. The left, you just did it just now. But this is common with the left. That's the problem. It's common with the left. Because the left doesn't believe in informing people. It doesn't believe in giving people the truth. It only believes in having perception. Sorry. Because narrative is about having perception. You want everyone's perceptions to be this. The truth is just is. The truth stands on its own. The truth is, hey, this is me. Take it, don't matter if you like it or not. It's here. That's the truth. Your perception of the truth is what's different, and that's what they want to change. Literal stranded effect. Singer desperate attempts to direct people away from the New York Post backfires. When you tell people, you can't see this, don't look at this, Biden didn't do this, people are going to go, did he really? Did he not really? And you create more attention on this. And then they try to play this game with Trump. Oh, look, Trump need to be helped off stage too. And you find out that it was just a still photo. When we have videos of Biden being owed. But the best y'all got is a picture of him holding his son's hand, congratulating him after he walked off stage in Hialeah. This is the best y'all got. This is the best y'all got. The manipulation is failing, man. And then they wonder why people don't trust the mainstream media. People say the media making people crazy. The media is making people divisive because they can't have y'all united. Divided what? They say a divided house cannot stand. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure we don't stand up for America because that's the only way we can hold them accountable. If Americans stand on something. But if we all stand on different things, I want special treatment because I'm black, because I felt like I was oppressed all my life. And I feel like it's just due that we should get preferential treatment. White Americans go back and say, hey, we're tired of being hated because of our skin color, because of something some of our ancestors did. Not even all our ancestors did, but some of our ancestors did. And now you want to hold us to that when we wasn't the one personally responsible? This is the game that they want to play. But in reality, it's a government that did all this stuff. In reality, it was a Democrat that nationalized segregation called Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat president, who pushed this culture of racism and white supremacy into the culture of the United States. Woodrow Wilson, when he put up Birth of a Nation. Democrats don't want to take credit for that, though. But they want to take credit for the civil rights movement, this, that, affirmative action, black people's doing good in life when black people was already succeeding before affirmative action. Some can make the argument that affirmative action is actually causing more a net negative on the black community. But the Democrats don't see it that way. But if you question it, oh, you're trying to say Jim Crow was good. When you was just talking about the Jim Crow, when you was just talking about a time period. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate this statement again. Trust the internet more than the TV. I think that's the narrative we're going to go with. Because at least with the internet, you know it's someone's honest a view on things. They got it from somewhere. And you can retrace their steps of arrive and seeing how they arrive to a conclusion. On the TV, you just know you're being fed talking points. I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about this whole narrative manipulation game that the left is trying to play? Do you agree with my points, some of the points I brought up? I'd like to know why. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.